Good morning, everybody. I'm going to talk to you today about what I've done so far in the creative industry. Just one thing before I start. If you have any questions during my presentation, please feel free to raise your hand and ask questions. I think the beauty of sessions like this is to have interaction. I already know all my slides and everything, so it's not really my benefits to work them through. If we don't get to the end of the presentation within time, it's fine. The best thing is that you can ask questions and get the most out of it. Right. Plots. Kom op. Nee, ja, wel. Who am I? My name is Sjoerd.
Not your room.
Not your room. Oh, and
Yes.
Yes. All right. My name is Sjoerd. I'm 36. I'm an entrepreneur in the creative industries. My biggest claim to fame is the company ActiveCues, and we've created Tovertafel, Dutch word meaning magic table, and it's a game system for elderly people with severe dementia. My background is, as mentioned, I graduated from the Utrecht School of the Arts, the HKU, at the theater department. I did a study called Design for Virtual Theater and Games. It combined the development of theater with game design. It was a very new and a bit artsy-fartsy study, but it was absolutely wonderful. And after graduating there, I went to Nijrode Business University and I did my MBA there. So I'm a combination of business and creativity. Before that, I also studied chemistry, but I didn't finish that, so we don't talk about that. Like I said, my biggest claim to fame is ActiveCues, Tovertafel. This is not going to work. I will walk every time. We develop serious games in healthcare. Currently, we're with 45 employees, and we're active in 10 countries. Last few years, we grow tremendously. Our office is right across the street at the Court Hotel, the Oude Rechtbank, at the 3rd floor. Absolutely wonderful, so we can wave to each other. We're neighbors. Yeah, a little bit about, I'm so used to, this is not going to work. All right. ActiveCues, the company behind Tovertafel. Our motto is everyone has the right to play, and we develop games for people who didn't draw a lucky hand at the beginning of life, as they say. People who need a little bit more care in life. And especially our first Tovertafel that we created was developed for people with severe dementia. People who live in care homes. What you see a lot with people with severe dementia is that they lose the ability to activate themselves. Maybe you know somebody with dementia, maybe you've heard about this. Last stage dementia, losing the ability to activate yourself. Meaning, if you sit in a chair and you are bored, you want to go outside, you can stand up and go outside. That's self-activation. When you feel thirsty, you see a glass of water, you can drink it. That's self-activation. That is lost with these people because that part of the brain is severely damaged. This can not only lead to boredom, it can also lead to apathy. Apathy is a total lack of feeling and emotion. 90% of all people with dementia living in care homes suffer from apathy, and it's the #1 cause of death amongst these people. It's a very serious problem. That's why we've developed Tovertafel. It's a little box about this big. We mount it in the ceiling in care homes. Inside is a projector, sensors, computer hardware. We project games on the table, the normal everyday table already found in care homes. And you interact with the projections by touching the light. I've got some photos of it. Plop, 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 plop. Yeah. So for example, there are these small flowers, like the yellow one, small flowers on the table, but as soon as you touch them, they will grow in size. Extremely simple, but very, very effective. Because all our games, we've got 20 different kinds of games, but all our games are designed in such a way that we can activate those parts of the brains that are not damaged by Alzheimer. So that's how we know we can actually activate people again. And what happens is with our games, we can get people out of apathy. So instead of just sitting like this the entire day, they see the projections, they start following it with their eyes, they start to touch it, they're enjoying themselves, so we activate people again. And with that, we improve quality of life. That's what we do. We're talking about people who have 1, maybe 2 years left of their life, and we cannot claim that we can prolong their life or we can reduce the disease, absolutely not. But what we can do is improve quality of life for that last year. I've got a small video of it I would like to share with you. I hope it's going to work. I've got a black screen going on. Nope. Technology.
Tovertafel is a series of interactive games that we develop for people with dementia to stimulate them.
And that's a game with the leaves, which they find really relaxing. Touch the table, and there's some little creatures that they have to find, so they're quite happy with that one.
I think of all the games that we've played, my favourite is Bubbles, because the residents really enjoy the sound of as the bubbles separate out, and it's quite a fast-moving game too, and it seems lots of activity on the table with all the bubbles, so that's the favourite game.
Down came the rain and washed the spider out. Out came the sunshine, dried up all the rain. And the incy-wincy spider climbed the pipe again.
Oh, very good.
It's hard not to get goosebumps when you see people playing with the Tovertafel. Often it's people who are extremely passive during the day and suddenly they come to life and there's a light, there's a spark, there's a bit of magic. Today we were playing beach balls with people who were reminiscing about being on holiday at the beach. We were looking at flowers where we were naming them and everyone wanted to talk about gardening. We were singing nursery rhymes. We were bursting bubbles, and it was just like bringing fun and laughter to your kitchen table.
And it's exciting because it's different, because it's technology bringing people with difficulties to the centre and enjoying something new, which they haven't seen before, and that's why I like it.
All right. Just to give you an idea what we're doing and where I come from. Our company has grown tremendously, like I said. We are really out of the startup phase. We're now getting into the scale-up phase, meaning that running said company is totally different. You need a different kind of management for that. It's more about structures and more regulations than the creative things needed for a startup. So I decided to partly step down out of the management team of the company because I'm not very good as a classic manager, so to speak. I still work for Tovertafel, of course. I'm still one of the owners, of course. I work there 3 days per week as international new business developer. It's my job to bring Tovertafel to countries where we're not active yet. Best job ever. And for 2 days, the remaining 2 days of the week, I work now as the entrepreneur, and I help creative entrepreneurs with the business side. Combining my more than 10 years, almost 11 years of experience as an entrepreneur my background at art school, my background at business university. It's true that most creative entrepreneurs, most creative professionals are driven from a personal motivation to do something, to make something new, to create something new, and not necessarily are the best at the business side. So I'm helping them with that. I'm not going to do the business side, I'm just helping as a coach, as a consultant and a teacher. I teach at the Utrecht School of the Arts as a business teacher. Yesterday I had the last classes, was a set of 4 classes at theater school, but also at the game design department. I had 3 different studies I taught. It was absolutely wonderful. I'm helping a theater company right now, very small company, with their business side. So we have made a whole business model canvas, and just to give them more insights. And the biggest thing is to teach them that business is not scary. You don't have to wear a suit. I like to do it right now because I like to impress you guys that I'm a very serious business person, of course, but you don't have to. My idea is to closing the gap between creative and business people, and while preserving, that's the theme, their added value and their strongest assets, meaning that I want to do it in a way that we can combine their creativity with the business side. It doesn't have to oppose each other. It can help each other on both sides. And also business people who have more interest into getting started into the creative sector, into creative industries. Because when you have a pure business mind and you want to enter the creative industry, you also face a lot of hurdles. If your mentality is profit maximization and growth as fast as possible, you won't find many creative people willing to work for you. Because most of them are not driven by a high salary and more profit and more profit and more profit and more profit. So closing the gap is not only getting creative people more business savvy, but also business people getting a little bit more, giving them a little bit more knowledge how creative people think and work. This is, for me, it's really new to do this. I just started this in February, but it's wonderful to do. I love this very much. Yes, this is still not going to work. I've got a philosophy as the entrepreneur. I've got 3 things. First one is learn to develop and use your business intuition. And I say this a lot to creative people. We as a human species, we've got a wonderful gift, intuition. We all have that feeling that when you say, it doesn't feel right. Mostly in our private life, I shouldn't have dated him or her, I shouldn't have done that, I knew it, why did I do this? Same thing with business. When you want to sign a big contract, for example, and you've read everything, but somehow it doesn't make sense, it doesn't feel right, that's your business intuition. Learn to listen to it and use it. Just step down and say, okay, I will not sign it today. Maybe you want to sleep another day over it or whatever. But as soon as your gut tells you this is wrong, listen to it. It's very powerful. And this is something that a lot of creative people, they're mostly very in tune with their intuition. They're very good at it. But they kind of lose track of it as soon as they have to make business decisions because they're a little bit overwhelmed about everything, about a lot of jargon that they never heard before. And I've seen a lot of creative startups signing wrong deals, making wrong business decisions. Well, they should have listened more to their gut, to their intuition. So one of the key things as entrepreneur, I focus is people I help to learn and to develop and use their business intuition. Second part, keep improving your business intelligence. You don't have to become a business person if you want to be successful as a creative entrepreneur or creative startup. Absolutely not. But just once in a while, read the economic part of the newspaper, listen to business news radio or something like that. Just get a little bit known of how the business world works and operates, what their jargon is, how these kind of people think. And you don't have to become, like I said, you don't have to become one of them, but just, get yourself a little bit more acquainted with the world, with the business world. So I take them to network sessions where a lot of business people are, stuff like that, so that they also see that you don't have to be afraid of that world. It's a little bit, it really helps. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and use the power of make mistakes. This is very important. Business is difficult, and you will make mistakes. Absolutely, you will fall flat on your face. You'll make stupid mistakes, but that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just learn from it. And a lot of creative people, at least, they don't mind making mistakes in their own creative process. They know that. They know that you can only become a great photographer if you make a lot of wrong photographs before. You can't become a great animator if you haven't made horrible animations first. Same thing with business. It's true, right? Yeah. Same with business. Learn from your mistakes, and sadly, a lot of young people, they get taught that making mistakes is wrong, and they get punished for it, either by getting a bad grade or their mom yells at them or whatever. You know, they get taught a lot that making mistakes is wrong, and I like to teach them that making mistakes is all right, as long as you learn from it and don't make the same mistake again. That's very important. So this is the philosophy of the entrepreneur. This is how I operate. This is how I help people with these 3 segments. With every creative startup that I help, I also have 4 tips for them. So how to become successful. I try to teach them that there is no shortage of innovation. This is really for young startups. Originality is highly overrated. Work together with the end user, and you will fail. I will walk through them. The first one, there's no shortage of innovation. The average household, but also office, are filled to the brim with great innovations, with new technologies and everything. But most of them are one-off projects. You know, they're custom-made solutions, prototypes, stuff like that. Especially, you probably see that also when you have when you do some work for hire, you come to offices or clients, and then you will probably see that they already have these custom-made solutions that they use once, maybe twice, and then never again. So there's no shortage of innovation in this world, and a lot of people think I have to be innovative, and I have to be the most innovative company or the most innovative person in the world. But there's absolutely no shortage of it. What's much more important is that you, as a startup, you find your own little niche where you're very good at, and you focus on that. That's the most important thing. So don't try to be innovative for everybody. Find your own little niche and become absolutely the best for that group. And a creative new idea is not a product. That's very important that I like to tell young startups. A creative new idea is not a product. It's not scalable. So it can't be a product. A product is something that you sell and that you can multiply or whatever. That's a lot with physical product, but also with digital product. It has to be something that has to be scalable. And as long as it's not scalable, it's not a product. And then it's only a one-off. It's a prototype. And yeah, you can't become a successful company if you don't have something that's scalable. You can make something new every time. When you talk to advertising agencies or animators or photographers, you have to make something new every time. You can't use the same photographs, the same games, the same whatever, but you have to find a format for yourself in which you can be scalable. Does it make sense? Yeah? Great. This is my second thing. Originality is highly overrated. Only at a race, it's important to be number 1. Everything else in this world, it doesn't matter if you're number 1. Absolutely not. I'm so used to this. To emphasize this a little bit, I've got some questions for you. What was the first social network in the world? What was the first social network? MySpace? Maybe, yeah. The Tribe? The Tribe. I like that one. I've never heard that one. I like that. Yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. No, it does make sense, but it's not something that we universally agree on. So that's the big one. What was the first smartphone app? You know, very original. The first smartphone app. What was it? The iStore. The iStore. Yes, an app. I don't know. Yeah, maybe. What was the first superhero movie? Yeah, sorry, it's a little bit of my own interest here. What was the first superhero movie? I don't know. And what was the first internet search engine? These were the first. These were the original. These were the maybe, yeah, I don't know. But if I ask these questions, if I ask these questions, what is the most successful social network? What is the most successful smartphone app? The most successful superhero movie? And the most successful internet search engine? We probably all have an answer for this. We don't have to necessarily agree with each other because we can have a whole discussion what is successful. But my answers would be Facebook, probably again Facebook, Avengers Endgame, absolutely, and Google. You know, so and maybe your answers are different, but we can have a discussion about this, and everybody will have an answer to this. So this is what I mean by originality is highly overrated. You don't have to be original; you have to be successful. That's the whole thing. And especially when you work in the creative industry, a lot of people think that they have to be original, and it doesn't matter. And this is, as we say in Dutch, is vloeken in de kerk. It's swearing in the church. I'm not sure if that translates well to English. But the non-Dutch people, do you know what do you know what I mean with swearing in church? Yes, that's all right. So this is the point I want to drive home. Don't depend on originality. Try to become successful. That's way more important. And work together with the end user. We call that co-design and or co-creation, and it's designing and creating not only for but with the end user. It is a sort of a hype at the moment to use the term co-design, co-creation, but it is something that a good creative entrepreneur, good creative company has embedded in their core. How we do it with Tovertafel, we've got this little model. I've got a bigger version, yeah. Sorry, I only have this in Dutch, so sorry. But I will explain what it is for the non-Dutch people. We start here in the middle. You saw the video, very simple games, but it all starts with a brainstorm session at our office. So we've got a very big design and research department, in total of like 15 people at the department. And they're constantly coming up with new ideas for game, either totally new games or improving on existing games. They make a new game concept and it goes to our development department. They make a prototype of this new version of the game, and with that new prototype we go to one of the co-design locations. At the moment in the Netherlands we have I think about 1,300 Tovertafels at care homes. And 20 of those care homes are our co-design locations. They are our most, they are a fan of us and we're a fan of them. So what we do, we go with our prototype to go to one of our co-design locations. We plug the new game in their Tovertafel. We play it with the residents, with everybody. My colleagues are vividly writing everything down that people are doing. We're filming it. And if their behavior changed, then with the original version of that game, everything is written down. And all that comes back to the brainstorm session. And this loop will go on and go on and go on. And at any point we can chuck it in the bin. We say, no, it doesn't work. It doesn't have it doesn't do what we want it to do. For example, the game with the fish that you saw. Maybe if we make the fish 5% bigger, or make them swim a few percent faster or slower or whatever. Or maybe we add an extra fish, or we remove a fish. We know what is the result. Will people react better to the game now? And only when the reaction improves, we keep that change in the game. But not only our own brainstorm sessions, there's a lot of insights and inspiration coming from outside the company or semi-outside. What we do, we have a lot of creative sessions with not only our co-design locations, but with all the care homes. We invite care workers to our office and we have what we call paper prototyping sessions. So we develop games with them, but only physical. So we have a lot of paper and glue and scissors and sparkles and everything. And we could, maybe we want to make a game with monkeys, and we're gonna draw monkeys, and how would it work and stuff like that. A lot of fun, a lot of fun. A lot of tea and biscuits and chocolate during those sessions, a lot of fun. A few weeks ago we were part of a Dutch television program for children, Klokhuis. They had a program that you could open up your doors, invite children to your indoor. We had that. So 20 children were running around because they wanted to design games. Massively fun. Feedback from all the users. In total, in Europe, we have now we're going to install in a few weeks the 3,000th Tovertafel. So all the users, we sent them enquêtes, surveys. So we're going to send them surveys. How do you use it? What do you want to improve on it? What do you like? All that stuff. So we collect all that feedback, and we do a lot of research. Tovertafel comes from a large scientific research study. We want to keep our academic level as high as possible. We are a commercial company, of course, a for-profit company, so we can't have extensive 4-year research for every little thing that we change on our product, but we want to keep our academic level as high as possible. So we have our own research. We work together at the moment with, I think, 4 or 5 universities all over the world doing research about the impact of games on people with dementia, how Tovertafel is being used, stuff like that. And of course, we read a lot of research that's published by other people. There's a lot of research done worldwide about dementia, about cognitive diseases, stuff like that. That's all going to be collected and used in our brainstorm sessions. And finally, when this circle has been several times, finally, and when everybody's happy, ready for use, and the new game is going to be online. Tovertafel comes pre-installed with 9 games. We have 20 for people with dementia right now, so we've got a little online shop. People can download additional games. This whole thing, from first idea to publication, tends to be around 9 to 12 months. You saw how simple the games are. It takes an awful lot of time. Every designer in this room will know it's very difficult to make something simple. It takes a lot of time and effort. So this is what I mean with involving your end user in your creative process. This is how we do it. For you, you have to find your own way how to do it, of course, but not only at the last minute. Get your end user, get your client at the very beginning of your creative process as soon as possible. Yes. And you will fail. I've said it already, but I like to drive this point home. It doesn't matter that you fail. What you're doing it for the first time. It is baffling to see how insecure your typical manager is. Managers are one of the most insecure people I've ever met. Go to the bookstore. There's a large one here at the Oude Gracht. Go to the management section. The amount of self-help books for managers. I think it's the largest section in maybe next to cookbooks, but it's so much. They're so insecure, and they have all the right to be insecure because if you're a very successful manager at company A, you've got zero guarantee that you'll be successful at company B because so many factors are different. And how you become successful as a manager or an entrepreneur, there are so many factors that you don't have any influence on. So there's a sheer amount of luck needed to become successful as an entrepreneur or as a manager. So it doesn't matter that you fail, because only through failing you can get successful. Like, no one has done it before. Like I said, if you're successful as a manager at company A, nobody has been at that point in time for that product with all the things going on in the world being a manager on that position in company B. So nobody knows if you can be successful at the first place and how to become successful. You've got some idea because you were successful at company A, but yeah, why would you be successful at company B? Yes, learn from your failures, of course. Yeah, but keep it containable. This is not a recommendation to just go out and go wild and fail as much as possible. Keep it containable. And if you can do that, then you can become successful. With the right amount of failure. God, I'm so tired. Talking about failures. Your prototype can become a product, and you will enter the startup phase. And after that, your startup grows, and you enter the scale-up phase. So this is, in a nutshell, what I like to do as the entrepreneur, to guide creative startups through this whole process. Next to being a teacher, I'm also affiliated now with 2, I'm forgetting the word for it, incubators. We've got the Dutch Game Garden here in Utrecht. They help young game companies. And again, Utrecht School of the Arts, they started last year their own incubator. It's called HKUX, and it's for graduates from the Utrecht School of the Arts if they want to start up their own company. It's like a pre-incubator, so it's really startup. They just have an idea of they have made a prototype of something for the graduation projects, and they want to turn it into a product. I'm now coaching and helping them with it through these guidelines. So yeah, that's basically in a nutshell what I do. So in conclusion, find your own unique little niche. Become the best. You don't have to be the first. collaborate intensively with the target group. Failing is good. No, it is necessary. That's it for me.